Numbers just speak for themselves, or is there some kind of other motive for the filing at this time, Joey?
No correlation at all, Mike. You kidding? I'm being sarcastic, obviously.
Like 100 million each fight.
I would think close to $1 billion.
He probably is, but he spends like a mother. He probably has like a couple $100 million in jewelry.
This is what Floyd writes on his Instagram. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially when it comes to the media in this country.
Floyd Mayweather, who once stood atop the sports world with an astonishingly lucrative career yielding earnings surpassing $1.2 billion, is now allegedly confronting the brink of financial devastation, according to startling new reports from CNN. In spite of routinely showcasing opulent private aircraft, sprawling estates, and watches worth millions, those close to the boxer claim his impulsive expenditures, failing entrepreneurial ventures, and accumulating legal expenses have severely damaged his wealth. Insiders report that the former champion is discreetly selling off valuable possessions to settle obligations, with some even suggesting that a potential bankruptcy declaration could be imminent.
Surrounded by other people who make 10%, 20%, 5% on what the other guy brings home. So people are incentivized to push people to keep scaling and keep going and all eat when you eat. But I think it's very important for people to stand up and say, you know what? I don't think this thing needs to be that big. I don't think the valuation needs to get.
Floyd Mayweather once occupied the highest echelon of wealth within the athletic realm, reportedly accumulating in excess of $1.20 to $2 billion through lucrative matches, promotional deals, and public appearances. Yet, just as swiftly as his fortune accumulated, it was dissipated. Rather than securing his finances through prudent investments or ensuring monetary steadiness, Mayweather lived as though his revenue stream would remain perpetual. His daily existence became characterized by extravagant indulgences, from aircraft adorned in gold plating to extensive collections of high-end vehicles. His determination to portray himself as the most affluent and flamboyant sports figure overtook any notion of restraint. And the very lifestyle that earned him the nickname Money now appears to have driven him toward financial disaster.
He's up there, bro. He's probably got to be at least 400 million. I mean, some of the purses from his fights are like 100 million each fight.
I would think
shit.
close to $1 billion.
He probably is, but he spends like a. He probably has like a couple $100 million in jewelry. Have you seen like videos of his jewelry?
Yeah, some crazy. Let me see. Let me see what his net worth is. Mayweather net worth.
Them Googles be lying though, huh?
They be lying? You think?
I think so. It's probably not accurate. I mean,
let's see what they say. Exactly what you said. It says an estimated $450 million.
Yeah.
Richest boxer in the world. It's a lot of money.
Mayweather repeatedly captured public attention not solely due to his unblemished record in the ring, but also because of the staggering sums attached to each of his bouts. His showdown with Manny Pacquiao is believed to have generated more than $250 million, while a subsequent exhibition against Conor McGregor produced comparable figures. Frequently recognized as the world's highest-paid athlete, Mayweather, instead of leveraging this income to establish lasting financial security, appeared to use it as fuel for opulence. Lavish celebrations, chartered jets for his large entourage, and gambling sessions involving millions became part of his everyday narrative.
Floyd Mayweather, the highest paid athlete, not the highest paid boxer, the highest paid athlete in the world. I had the opportunity and pleasure to be around him for many years. I was his personal shopper. I was a personal friend of his family. One of my greatest memories of being just lucky enough to even be around that environment was watching him train. Watching Floyd Mayweather train is a masterclass in discipline. It is a masterclass in work ethic. It is a masterclass in this is how you execute and get stuff done. Every rep, he hits it hard. There's not one lazy rep. He does everything at such a high frequency, so elevated. I'm like, goodness gracious, watching this man train, it's like, that's how I want to train for life. I've been to the club with Floyd where we leave in the club 3, 4 in the morning and he's still going to hit his 6 miles. He'll have all the cars follow him and he's running down the Las Vegas Strip, down back streets.
Mayweather's monetary difficulties have not been confined to thoughtless extravagance. His name has regularly surfaced amid legal disputes tied to speculative or ethically dubious enterprises. In 2022, he became embroiled in a collective legal action concerning a cryptocurrency initiative widely denounced as a manipulative scheme. Although the litigation was ultimately dismissed, It underscored Floyd's tendency to engage in hype-fueled financial opportunities without due diligence. Matters intensified in 2024 when he encountered another lawsuit, this time concerning allegations that he ordered his bodyguard to physically attack an individual. The plaintiff demanded damages exceeding $3 million. These legal predicaments reveal a pattern of erratic and risky financial behavior.
What things happen? I had 3 children with a young lady. We wasn't seeing eye to eye. She was a little upset, had a little alcohol in her system. She was a little edgy, and I told her, basically I needed the keys to my truck. She was upset. She didn't want me to take the keys to the truck. So things got out of hand and blown out of, they blow things up bigger than what things are really made out to be. So things happen.
But nevertheless, you had to do 2 months, right?
Yeah, I did 2 months for a misdemeanor, yes.
So what is it like to have everything and then not have freedom?
That's what I come to find out. Freedom is very important. Freedom is very, very important. And I'm just, I'm happy to be free. I'm happy to be back, in my children's...
Joe Rogan, known for his forthright commentary, publicly denounced what he saw as Mayweather's cavalier attitude toward his tax responsibilities. Rogan warned that irrespective of one's wealth, evading tax duties inevitably invites severe consequences from the IRS. He noted that numerous affluent figures have fallen due to such lapses. Rogan also suggested that Mayweather's ostentatious way of life might actually conceal deep-rooted monetary instability. According to Rogan, the trajectory Floyd appears to be on is neither original nor unprecedented.
He owed that money to the IRS. How much does he owe?
It's in the $20+ million range.
It's a lot of money, man.
But it's not something that he's been, it's not like deception.
No.
It's just neglect to pay.
Neglect. And it's also like, I think, and there is like a truth to this. He makes so much money. There's probably a point when they're like, hey, it's time to pay your taxes. And you go like, all right, here's a check for $25 million. That's an incredible amount of money. And then they go, that's true, but you owe 50 more. And he's just like, that can't be right. I've given you $25 million.
Yeah, he's bought over 100 luxury cars from the same dealer and always pays in cash.
He has $15 million worth of cars.
Congrats. You can sell those.
Mike Tyson, another boxing icon, notoriously earned hundreds of millions during his prime years in the sport, only to later file for bankruptcy following a series of extravagant and ill-advised expenditures. Tyson once owned exotic animals, multiple lavish homes, and even a gold-plated. Now, Mayweather seems to be walking a disturbingly familiar path. Much like Tyson, he parades his fleet of cars, expensive jewelry, and luxury estates, yet the financial reality behind the scenes appears highly unstable.
And back at it again, and y'all know how I get down over here. We talking boxing. Now, I am fresh off watching episode 1 of the All Access of the upcoming fight between Floyd Money Mayweather and Marcos Maidana. Now, a lot of people may have gotten a lot of things from watching that episode. It was real flamboyant. We seen Floyd Mayweather tossing his money around as always, talking about the Miss Jackson situation. We seen Marcos Maidana looking focused, more so focused on his baby and everything. So those are a lot of the minor takeaways. But my major takeaway from this whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, is I was quickly hit with a emotion of nostalgia, you know what I mean? Because seeing Floyd Mayweather with all this money and cars and clothes and hoes and yada yada yada, it just kind of reminded me. There was a small segment in that episode that stated that a lot of fighters believe in their immortality, you know what I mean? We've seen this before. So the question I ask, we have seen this movie before. Boxers traditionally going broke. They start off well, so flamboyant with all this money and all these cars, and they have businesses they invest in. There's something special, at least in their minds they are. And then after either retirement or near retirement or after the fight game has left them, traditionally boxers go broke, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying this is going to happen to Floyd Mayweather, but I swear on everything, man, I hope it doesn't happen to Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather is going to go down in the halls of history, ladies and gentlemen, as possibly top 3 to top 5 to top 10 of all-time greats. I mean, depending on how you view Floyd Money Mayweather. But however, he is definitely the #1 boxer of my era, ladies and gentlemen, of my time on this earth of watching the sport of boxing. No one has the skill set of Floyd Money Mayweather. Carve it up, chop it up how you like. Get on the debate about his opponents, all this other crap. We can have that for another video. But this man is going to go down in history as an all-time great without a doubt. And I understand the argument for those who may even present the argument that he's the #1 greatest of all time. I see valid points in that argument. I don't agree with that, but I see valid points in that argument. This is a great boxer. We are going to miss Floyd Money Mayweather when he leaves the sport, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact remains.
Ironically, Floyd has frequently spoken publicly about his supposed financial acumen, often citing strategies like purchasing property at a low price with the intent to sell high. However, his real-world choices stand in stark contrast to these principles. While his genius inside the boxing ring, marked by unmatched defense, flawless timing, and exceptional fight intelligence, is undisputed and has secured his status as one of the sport's all-time greats. These qualities have not seamlessly translated into wise money management. The laser-sharp focus and discipline he demonstrated in his athletic pursuits appear entirely absent when it comes to managing his wealth.
Not a fan of, and they constantly win all the time. The Patriots went through the same thing. Small example, I'm gonna just take boxing for instance.
Right.
Floyd.
Yes.
Everybody loved when Floyd was winning early in his career.
Yes.
But when he kept winning,
yes,
he became the villain.
Yes.
And then everybody paying in and tuning in to see him lose.
Right.
That's it. He became the villain.
Even Floyd's own uncle, Jeff Mayweather, has openly expressed doubts regarding his financial choices. During an unguarded interview, Jeff confessed that he no longer comprehends Floyd's increasingly erratic behavior, particularly when it comes to his chaotic investment decisions. Floyd seems to enter business arrangements with no coherent plan, driven more by ego and impulse than by any rational assessment. His grand claims about real estate holdings have even caused skepticism among experts who are well aware of the inherent volatility in that sector.
I don't necessarily see Floyd very much, so we don't really get a chance to talk very much, and so I don't really know what's going on. I know he's doing things that, to better his life, like buying homes and buying different things. And so, I don't know exactly what he's doing. So, I haven't seen him in quite some time. And I haven't heard about him talking about doing any more exhibitions. Maybe he will, maybe he won't, I don't know. But I haven't heard anything.
I know the KSI's team would be happy to make their fight with him.
Mayweather's clashes with the IRS represent a serious point of concern. At one point, federal officials reportedly advised him to liquidate his assets and address his tax liabilities immediately. To ignore such a directive is tantamount to fiscal suicide. Once the IRS begins to repossess property, it reflects an extreme level of financial negligence. Floyd's unwillingness to confront his tax obligations head-on only compounded the issue and made an already precarious situation worse.
I'm at least set back reporting. You've guys all seen the headline saying Mayweather needs money, Mayweather has problems, Mayweather needs Conor McGregor. Well, the truth couldn't be further. Let me tell you, Floyd Mayweather just posted this on his Instagram, and I know it's true because anyone who was around Floyd Mayweather back after the Pacquiao fight in 2015 saw Mayweather with the $26 million paycheck for the IRS. And this is what Floyd writes on his Instagram. Believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, especially when it comes to the media in this country. While everyone is counting my money and assuming the worst, these are the facts. Uncle Sam received $26 million from me in 2015. What else could they possibly want? I'm sure I would have been notified much sooner if there were any real discrepancies, right? Bottom line, everybody just wants to be part of the Money May show, including the IRS. That's fine. You can crunch numbers all day, but in the end, my empire is rock solid and intact. Now calculate that. #TMT, #Floyd Mayweather, #TBE.
Eventually, Mayweather, who frequently refers to himself as the best ever, responded to the tax rumors by declaring that he had paid $26 million to the IRS. However, this announcement failed to reassure many observers. Instead, it prompted additional concerns. Was this payment sufficient to cover his entire debt? Had it come too late to make a difference? The timing felt less like genuine transparency and more like an orchestrated effort at public damage control. Critics argue that the move was carefully calculated to silence growing doubt rather than provide real clarity.
$26 million, a payment he made to the IRS. By the way, nothing makes your tax payment look shadier than when you're just holding up cash.
Right.
That's not a good look for the IRS. But he showed his actual, $26 million.
Then just pay him. Like, I don't know why, like, he's mad at the media. It's like, oh, you guys are making things up. No, it's leaked that you asked to pay after this fight. Like, you make all this money. If I was Mayweather, not only would I pay them on time, the IRS, I'd tip them. I'd be like, hey, here's what I owe you. Here's a little bit. Get your woman something nice, all right? How was Christmas for your kids? Oh, you're Jewish, convert just for this Christmas. Here, take care.
In spite of the lawsuits and increasing financial scrutiny, Mayweather recently stated that he had independently invested $42 million in real estate, specifically claiming ownership of 62 buildings located in Manhattan. He emphasized that no business partners were involved and that the money came entirely from his personal funds. However, many remain skeptical about the authenticity of this declaration. The scale and timing of the announcement seem inconsistent, especially in light of his well-documented financial challenges.
This substantial investment was made through his real estate firm, Vada Properties, and is intended to expand his portfolio in New York City real estate market. Mayweather has expressed that this purchase holds significant personal meaning, reflecting his humble beginnings and desire to provide affordable housing options. He stated, growing up, I used to dream about owning just one home by myself. When you work hard, you can achieve anything. However, it's important to note that while Mayweather has announced this acquisition, some reports suggest that property records do not yet confirm a transfer of ownership. Experts speculate that he may have acquired a minority stake with options for future expansion.
Instead of reassuring the public or silencing critics, Mayweather's statement has only intensified widespread doubt. If accurate, it points to an alarming pattern of financial overreach. His fixation on material possessions may very well be the most detrimental aspect of his personality. Every exotic vehicle, luxury timepiece, and glittering chain adds to a lifestyle that is increasingly beyond his means. According to those with insider knowledge, he consistently spends more than he brings in month after month. The financial equation simply doesn't balance, and when these purchases carry hefty tax implications, the circumstances become even more troubling.
Is about to pay $2 billion to purchase a sports team and may never have to pay taxes again. The tax code offers these super wealthy so many methods to erase their income through deductions, and none is better than purchasing a sports team. Buying a sports team is like buying a unicorn real estate property. The value is always going to go up, the owner is going to make money, but on their tax return, they're going to use a strategy to report that they're losing money. See, the owner is actually allowed to write off the entire cost of the sports team against future income. This will allow Floyd to pay less in taxes. It's called amortization, which is very similar to depreciation. But if Floyd ever decides to sell the team, then the taxes will be owed. Who cares then? Because the taxes he was supposed to pay during those years, he's going to take that money, reinvest it for personal profit. See you, Floyd. Hit your boy up if you need help with taxes. My name is Duke, and I make taxes very easy to understand. Give me a follow to stay educated.
Few events capture Mayweather's need for theatrical excess more vividly than his recent journey to Mexico, during which he traveled in a heavily armored tank. While the vast majority of affluent travelers opt for sleek SUVs or chartered jets, Floyd escalated the spectacle to an almost surreal level. This act had little to do with utility or function, it was clearly orchestrated for maximum attention. These extravagant scenes may earn fleeting viral fame, but they also expose a man who appears increasingly detached from the basic principles of financial responsibility.
Mayweather, like...
Well, I didn't say kidnap, but you got your passport taken. You can't come and leave when you want to go, but he ain't in jail, so he's out at a 6-star hotel being Floyd, so I guess it ain't that bad, but we'll see. We're gonna watch and see like everybody else.
That's crazy. I mean, when you think of Money Mayweather, you thinking like Floyd may have like $1 billion or something.
He did. He made $1 billion plus. Floyd made a lot of money. And I don't really know Floyd's business, so I'm not going to speak on Floyd's business. But Floyd's very, very, as the world knows, he's money made, very flashy. Look, man, you know, we both made some real money, but you know, you start burning through, you make $2-3 million a year, you burning through $100,000 a month. You ain't really got that much money.
Shit, he probably spending way more than that.
No, I'm talking regular dudes. We
say
say we made $3 million, we burning through $100,000 a month. We really don't got no paper like that saved
that's
up.
A fact.
So even if he's making $100 million, if he's burning through $5, $6, $7 million a month, you still got taxes, you still got responsibilities. So I don't know nobody's bag, but you know, me and you, we real. We never count nobody's paper. So
not at all.
I hope he got $10 billion. And I hope he get out of this problem.
That's a fact, because you would figure he should be able to just cash him out. Like whatever the tab is, you know, he should be able to wire that.
I think he could do that with no problem. I think he got all the money in the world. I think they may not want it.
Mayweather's extensive and highly publicized watch collection, reportedly worth millions, is another prime example of his relentless drive to exhibit extreme wealth. Social media platforms are flooded with images of his dazzling, diamond-encrusted timepieces, each seemingly more ostentatious than the last. While some followers might be captivated by the spectacle, financial analysts interpret it as blatant financial imprudence. Such luxury items typically do not increase in value. In fact, they lose worth almost immediately after purchase, rendering them poor long-term investments.
I need you guys to watch me talk about my watches. Right here, I got 3 cases, and they're all full with watches. So when I travel, I like to take, you know, if I'm going for 45 days, I like to take 45 watches with me. I like to have options. So everybody's always asking me, what's your favorite watch? Well, one of my favorite watch brands is Avi & Co. As you can see right here, I got this a few months back, and it's one of my favorite watches. One of the best brands in the world. That's just my personal opinion. I like the brand so much, I went and bought another watch just yesterday, Avi & Co. As you can see, Avi & Co. Now, let's talk about watches, let's talk about jewelry, let's talk about a few things. I need you guys to watch me talk about my watches. So we'll set this to the side. Now, we want to give the people an appetizer or something light. So we give you 2 appetizers, then we give you a main course. Just a few watches that I got while I travel. So check this out. We're gonna go here first. And of course, the company is Avi & Co. Crazy company. Now, I need you guys to come closer and check this out. So let me come to you guys.
When it comes to entrepreneurship, Mayweather's reputation is just as fraught with concerns as his notorious spending habits. His approach to business has always prioritized immediate profits over core values or thoughtful planning, drawing him into ventures that often become embroiled in scandal. From dubious cryptocurrency endeavors to unsuccessful promotional enterprises, Floyd's investment record is riddled with reckless choices. Building lasting financial stability demands consistency, integrity, and strategic vision, qualities Mayweather has failed to demonstrate on a regular basis. As scrutiny over his financial judgment grows, so does the apprehension that his once mighty empire is gradually crumbling from within. Should he continue down this path without meaningful change, his legacy may include not only his undefeated record in the ring, but also the cautionary tale of a billionaire who squandered his fortune.
I think it was like a $5 or $8 million 5-fight deal or something like that. You have to check the numbers, but he turned that down to start his own promotion. And when he was with HBO, he worked out that deal to do the 24/7 where you can see the behind the scenes. That was right around the time when reality TV was getting big. So you didn't have social media then. People began to build and know Floyd off of the 24/7.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, my wife even became a boxing fan from watching the 24/7s.
Yeah.
So the timing of him becoming his own boss, which you're gonna make.
And, if you found this story compelling, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Star Hush, for more updates just like this one. Feel free to leave your opinions or reactions in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts.